So Vladimir Putin is now calling Donald Trump emotional. In the wake of Vladimir Putin after the prison swap, in the wake of the prisoner swap, Vladimir Putin launched the worst missile attack in the history of the war. Donald Trump surprisingly came out and said that Putin has gone crazy. I spoke to him on Discord and he was so nice and so calm and so great, and now he's crazy. He's pretending like Putin was never like this before. How could he be like this? Like, he comes out and he can't believe this is happening, right? Trump is yelling and screaming on some tarmac with a white hat on like usual. And he's talking about how Putin's gone crazy and he can't believe it. And Putin's response, Putin comes out, the Kremlin issues a statement saying Donald Trump is being emotional. You cannot make this stuff up. And after the first time this man shows a modicum of competence and understanding of the war, for the first time in forever, Putin's response is, you're being emotional. He says, you're being emotional, like Donald Trump is his girlfriend. You're being emotional. Okay, I bombed a few children. What? Like, okay, and stop nagging me. That's literally Putin's response is nag, nag, nag. Oh my God, Donald, all you do is nag. That's literally his response. So let's watch the clip.
Not happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin.
The attacks upended President Donald Trump's hopes for the peace deal he promised to deliver.
We're in the middle of talking, and he's shooting rockets into Kiev and other cities. I don't like it at all.
In a social media post, Trump went further and said Putin has gone absolutely crazy, before proceeding to lob equal blame at Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, saying everything out of his mouth causes problems. The Kremlin dismissed Trump's remarks as the result of emotional overload, insisting a Russian peace proposal is still being drafted.
Bro, I don't know how many times it's going to take for honestly, conservatives don't even believe in anything. I could sit here and like go on and on about how long is it going to take for conservatives to realize Russia's untrustworthy. The reality is MAGA doesn't think anything. If tomorrow Donald Trump decides that Putin is so hard to work with and every time I talk to him he makes it so difficult, all of MAGA will tomorrow, I shit you not, all be anti-Putin. These people don't believe in anything. They don't go based off information. They don't go based off of history. They don't go based off of knowledge or facts. They go based off of who does daddy like or dislike. Because Donald Trump, according to them, is their daddy. These are individuals who taped Band-Aids to their ear, depriving those who probably needed it from accessing it so they could be just like daddy. These are people who put on shirts that said daddy. These are people who broke into the Capitol to get shot at for their daddy. So keep this in mind when we start talking about the geopolitical complexities of the MAGA psychology, right? Complexities, rather lack thereof. And Putin's response highlights the nature of their relationship. Vladimir Putin is looking at this shit like, you are my bitch. You know full and fucking well I do what I want. If I want to blow people up, I blow them up. If I want to shoot people up, I shoot them up. Your job is to make it seem like you're coming close to a deal, to make Zelensky look insane despite the fact that he's done nothing to warrant said perspective or outlook on him. Your job is to make me look like the victim, which Putin has done actually a pretty good job of doing up to this point. Now he's making Donald Trump look like a pussy, which is one of the only ways to actually get Donald Trump to ponder doing the right thing. If you tell Trump, you kind of look weak at this situation, he automatically starts looking at things from a different perspective. Now, if you say, Trump, people are dying, people are losing their lives, people are losing their limbs, a nation is being destroyed, he couldn't care less. But if you put his ass on the line and say, Mr. Trump, you're starting to look a little bit bitch made, now all of a sudden he can see clearly now and the rain is gone. That's the level of narcissistic ego we're dealing with, where a man couldn't care less about the actual grander geopolitical consequences of Putin running amok. No. It's Trump being made to look weak that makes him take a step back and say, wait a minute, maybe I need to reassess the political situation here. That's all this is. Make no mistake, Donald Trump is complaining on Twitter not because Putin has turned a new leaf for the worst or turned heel or lost his mind. It's because Putin is acting the same way he's always acted, and now Donald Trump, someone who has made the most amount of excuses for Putin, has caped for Putin, has blamed Zelensky, is being made to look submissive to him. Every single time Donald Trump puts together peace talks between Russia and Ukraine, Russia blows civilians up. This makes Donald Trump look like a coward. This makes him look weak. This is the same Donald Trump who said, in 24 hours, I can end the war. it's been beyond 24 hours. No one actually, like, no one who's truly interested in geopolitics looked at this situation and said this can be over in 24 hours. Nobody seriously thought that besides retarded Trump supporters. But Donald Trump now has to deal with how it makes him look. All those grandiose promises, all that posturing, all that machismo, only for it to really result in this. And him being called emotional by Putin and his friends. Which, to some extent, they're right. This isn't Donald Trump coming to a calculated political conclusion. This is Donald Trump saying, you made me feel bad. You made me look bad today. So henceforth, I am now going to, actually start critiquing you and criticizing you and pointing out where you're wrong because you made me look bad today. That's literally all this is about, is Donald Trump being made to look incompetent, weak, and honestly, like Putin's plaything. He dislikes looking in such a way, looking in such a fashion. He dislikes being perceived that way. And his solution to being perceived that way is finally smelling the coffee, waking up, and allocating resources and attention towards stopping Russia. Now, all of a sudden, he wants to talk about how him taking all of Ukraine will be the downfall of Russia. Now he wants to talk about how he's always known Putin was crazy and was into this and into that and doing this and doing that. Now you want to pretend like you've always known? If you had always known, it begs the moral and strategic question. Do you even know what you're doing morally or strategically as a statesman if you knew Putin was this crazy this whole time, this morally bankrupt this whole time, this evil this whole time, and decided to pretend otherwise? Whatever. Donald Trump couldn't care less about the political philosophy of the situation. All he cares about is himself. But it's still funny hearing the Kremlin call Donald Trump emotional.